Good morning to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Sports Check on this Monday morning. It is the 13th day of June 2022. We'll be taking a look at different stories, the African Championships where Kenya topped the medal table, and also the Safari Rally. And also the athletics team that was in Mauritius for the 22nd edition of the African Athletics Championships is expected to touch down at the JKIA at 11:20 a.m. Our reporter is Bernardo Kumu, is going to be keeping us updated on the preparations for that. And also happening today is going to be the launch of the forensic laboratory at the Directorate of Criminal Investigations headquarters on Kiambu Road. This is a new facility, state of the art. For those who've been given a chance to walk around the lab, they were quite impressed. And the person who's going to officially open that, cut the ribbon and make sure that the functions of that lab start is His Excellency the President Uhuru Kenyatta, and that function is going to be starting, say, from the next hour. So those are some of the stories that we shall be looking at. Well, on Sports Check this morning, we are going to be looking at two events, all to do with speed. One is the WRC Safari Rally. Shakedown is on Wednesday, the 22nd, with the rally proper starting on the 23rd. At the KICC with the Kasarani Super Special, and then down to the Nakuru County where the rest of the event will take place. And the clerk of the course for the WRC Safari Rally, Gurveer Singh Babra, is going to be joining us in the next hour. But right now, let's talk about Team Kenya. In Mauritius, they topped the medal table, 10 gold, 5 silver, and 8 bronze medals. Remember, there were also 10 gold medals coming in the 2018 championships in Asaba. Quite some difficult conditions for the athletes who are there, but eventually 23 medals, no mean feat in the very wet and windy conditions that they had to face at the Côte d'Or Stadium in Redouille, Mauritius. Well, we're going to be joined by a member of our sports desk, Patrick Muleka. Patrick, welcome.
Thank you, Home.
And Patrick, first of all, the overall performance, 10 gold, 5 silver, and 8 bronze. And considering that yesterday was a day when the athletes, picked them up, starting with the race walkers in the morning, overall, how would you rate this performance by Team Kenya?
Looking at what they went through, we're talking of the conditions down there. It was not conducive for runners from Kenya. We're also looking at the preparations. Remember, after the COVID, when the COVID came in, preparations have not been up to the best, as we can say, when we look around Kenya, also in Africa. But looking at how they performed, I was so impressed, especially we're talking of the record, having the record of 400 by 100, 4 by 100, and also talking of 100 meters, getting that as we can say a first after like 32 years. That was a good feat for Kenyan team. And also comparing that we are actually on top of Africa for the second time running. That's also very remarkable.
Okay. So let's go straight to the event. And the first gold medal was the men's 100 meters. It was won by Ferdinand Omanyala, 9.93, but he had to battle against Akani Simbine, who also clocked 9.93. So when they went down to the milliseconds, it turned out to be 9.972 and 9.930. The battle between these two, how much more will it continue?
Okay, before Manyala came to this race, we were talking of Simbine every time. We were talking of the last 4 to 5 years. We were talking of Simbine. Simbine has been actually, we can say, the giant of African short races. So Omanyala beating him is actually telling him that, it's not just about South Africa, it's now about Kenya. So we are going to have that battle between Simbine for a long time. Also, there is another young guy from South Africa, that's Alkana. He's also a good guy. We expect this to continue. Perhaps going to the Commonwealth, perhaps we are going to see them also competing.
And overall, for somebody like Omanyala, they say you may have the records, but the medals really do matter. Yeah. This is the first major medal. This is the first major medal for him. What's the outlook for him, knowing that in 10 days he'll be back in Nairobi for the Commonwealth and World Championships trials, plus the opportunities that come with those two events?
I think this is like a morale booster for him, because people have been saying you are getting these meets and you get, you get the timing and you are number one in Kenya, in Africa, but we want to see medals. In what we just had in Mauritius, he got 2 medals in 100 by 4 and then also 100. And somehow he did not make it in 200. We expected that he has at least a hat trick. They need to be better, but for me it's a good start. He has now 2 medals from Africa, and it's now the king of Africa. He can pick it up from there.
Well, the other gold medal that Omanyala was part of is the 4x100 meter relay gold. Okay, just some background, because Patrick had mentioned about 32 years. The last Kenyan to win 100 meters, the 100 meter title at the African Championships was Joseph Gikonyo in 1990 in Egypt, and he did a double in the 100 and the 200 meters. 32 years of waiting. That's an entire generation. I mean, when he won it, Omanyala wasn't born yet. That's how long we've had to wait. Yeah, but then the 4x100 meter relay gold, taking this title from South Africa, the quartet of Dan Kiviazi, Samuel Imeta, Mike Mokamba, and Omanyala in the anchor leg.
It's also remember that in this kind of races, we are talking about not just South Africa, we have also Botswana,
yes,
who are also very good, and also Nigerians. So we expected to have competition, but from where we were seated, we were thinking perhaps Kenya will get position 3, but they surprised us. Remember that quartet. We're talking of Mokamba, we're talking of Omanyala. They've been doing very well in trials and also in this country. So actually, they did well in terms of beating South Africa, who are the queens of 100 by 4 or 4 by 100, and then Botswana.
And the whole thing is 39.32, 39.75, and it's the official result that, kind of caught everyone, how would I put this? By surprise. Yes. By surprise is the kind of gap that, Kenya created by the time they went to leg 3 with Imeta and Mokamba having, done the passing of the baton very quickly.
Yeah, in fact, after the first, we can say the first stride. The second stride, we could see that Kenya were doing better. Even if you look at the timing, the timing, they were able to be able to narrow down the lead between South Africa and Kenya and also Botswana. So that between Mokamba and now the finishing line, it was clear that perhaps it was going to be the race between South Africa and Kenya.
Well, 39.28 seconds, the result for Team Kenya. And now that the opportunity for the sprinters now, the 100, for the men's 100 and the relays, what more needs to be done so that we can see a lot of improvement, so that Kenya can, continuously compete now against Zimbabwe, who are proving to be no pushovers in the sprints anymore, South Africa and Botswana, who incidentally were disqualified.
Yeah, we've always said this, that Kenya, we have good runners, especially we've been talking of middle distances and long distances, but now we've seen an upsurge of short distance runners. But what we need to do more is to ensure that they do more practice, and then we're talking of having pure and fresh athletics. We're talking of lack of not using drugs. That's what I mean. So that we can be able to have more of these young guys coming in, having more of trials that we always have, like we're having inter-county, having the Nairobi, we're having North Rift, South Rift. So we need to be having more of these. Not only the time we have championship, but we have like regularly, so that we have these young guys coming in from high schools and also from discipline forces.
Well, the gold medals kept coming, and now let's talk about the women's 1,500 meters. Winnie Chebet winning a gold, and Purity Chepkirui taking the silver in that event. For some time, everyone says the 1,500 belongs to Faith. We know she's kept these championships. She has her eyes on the world championships. She really would want, to be at the top of her game in this distance. You take from this, given that they were running in very wet conditions, the race was slow, 4 minutes. When you do 4:16 in the 1,500 meters, that's slow.
Yeah, people will say that, okay, we always say that that is slow, but again, you look at where it was, I mean, like we said, in Mauritius, it was so wet, all that. It is a slow, it was a slow race compared to her standards, and also the people who are participating in that particular event. But again, we can give it to her, because look at what she went through to win this race, but we know she can do better, and she's always done better. So we still have to put our goal on her.
Well, but overall, the outlook now to make sure that Kenya is competitive going into the Commonwealth Games. We know in the Commonwealth there won't be any Ethiopia, but we've got the Australians, we've got the British, who will definitely want to fly to represent their nations well in Birmingham.
Yeah, we're saying that lack of Ethiopians will give Kenya an edge. But again, you've mentioned more about, Britons are good. And also we're talking of, so you'll find that some of these Britons actually train in Kenya.
Yes.
So they understand the Kenyan terrain, they understand the tactics. So it means that as we go there, yeah, we're saying that they might perform well, but again, we need to have good team selection. And I think that is the most important thing, because we are going to have the championship, the national championship, before we move to that stage. So we expect that when we do the trials, we have a strong team, not looking at lack of Ethiopia participating in that because it's Commonwealth, but having to look at making sure that it's the best out of what we have. And also having new guys coming in. Remember, most of the time when we have trials, we get new girls coming in. And we want to have more of them, especially in trials. Despite the fact that we've been having hitches up and down about that particular race.
Okay. Well, the other gold medal coming in from Beatrice Chebet in the women's 5,000 meters. And here's the story. Beatrice Chebet is the reigning world cross-country champion at under 20 level. And after that, she started getting invitations to competitions that involved the seniors. And here she is with the senior gold. What's the good thing that comes out when you have a young athlete like this now breaking through the ceilings that may have that as she enters the seniors?
Yeah, we remember very well in we're talking of 2018.
2019.
2019,
Yes.
2019. When she was there trying to participate in events, we're talking of 3,000. You remember also 5,000 when we were having a cross country. She also participated in even 10,000, So we're talking of a strong person who's come through ranks and having gone and now decided that I'm going to specialize in this particular event. And now you're talking of under 19. You remember in Aarhus?
Yes.
She was there 2019. You remember what she did?
Yes.
She has come to the now we can say she's now of the age, right? And I think that has helped her coming from under 20, under 19, under 20, and now going for the seniors. And I think that is the kind of spirit we need to have in this country, that we have to nurture. You can even be under 19, but you participate with the seniors, so that you can be able to have that endurance. You can be able to have those tactics so that you get them right when it comes to senior races like these ones.
Well, and also the other medal that came in the women's 5,000 meters, we had a bronze medal coming in from Caroline Nyaga. She not only won a bronze, but then went on to win the 10,000 meters women's gold. For Caroline Nyaga, she's with Team Police, dominated the cross-country events, the police cross-country earlier, and look at where she is now.
About Caroline Nyaga, I can say for me it was a surprise, though she's been doing locally well, right?
Yes.
But when I saw her in that team, I was like, okay, let's see what she can do. And trust you me, she's shown it, that she can do that. But I'll perhaps be able to advise, okay, just to, as I can say on a lighter note, that she should be participating so much in the, the Diamond Leagues,
getting
the international recognition. But I think that was the platform. She's now made it in Africa. Now she can be able now to move out.
How, when an athlete doubles in the 5,000 and 10,000, we've seen Vivian Cheruiyot do that, and even her, and she won 2 world titles. I mean, when doubling, how important is it for athletes to pick up on these long distance races?
You know, we always have a problem. Remember, when you have a double, sometimes it becomes tricky, especially if the short races come before the long races. If you are having like 5,000, 10,000, or 3,000, 5,000, and you start with the lighter one. The lighter one is like 3,000. You win that one. Then we go for the longer one.
Which is a 10,000.
10,000, you are going to have what you call burnout. You are going to burn out. But if you see someone having that endurance to go for 3,000 or 5,000, then go for 10,000 and then win both, then that is a very good athlete. Because it's not easy. And you will find that perhaps like you remember what we had with Sifan Hassan.
Yes.
When she went for 5,000, and then later 10,000, she was struggling 10,000. Because, you know, you win 5,000, you have all your energy. Then perhaps you have the 10,000 coming that day or the day after. You have no time to recover the energy and all that. So I can say this, she's a very strong lady. If she goes for that and she continues like that, she's very strong.
Well, gold medals, and so far we've only touched on 5 gold medals. Then Abel Kipsang. Finally, somebody is saying, we know of Timothy Cheriot. We know of Eli Manangoi, George Manangoi. But now there is Abel Kipsang in the 1-5.
Abel Kipsang, we saw him coming, by the way. And people were saying, and I remember in 2019, people are saying, perhaps this is the guy that's going to come up to compete with Manangoi or to take over from Cheriot, remember? And I think now it is of age. He showed, we can't say that it was an easy thing, but remember it's an African thing. But again, as we say, let's see the Commonwealth. Let's go for championship, not talking about the World Championship outside Africa. But I think he's of age. And look at the way the way he demolished that. Okay, in the beginning, we have that crowd, but later, he was himself.
Well, and as you can see from the pictures that are on your screen, those were the conditions. Running, and you can imagine, you're running a competitive race against strong athletes, and all that is in front of your eyes is mist. That's what it was like in Mauritius. A 1,500 meter goal coming in from him. But what about somebody like Kumari Taki, who had performed well in the first heat and is coming from injury? What would you say about him?
Kumari Taki, you know, he's been a guy who's good, but again, the issue of injuries has always dogged his competitiveness. We may say that he recovered well, and even him being in the team, we are saying, okay, let's see what he can do. And for sure, let's assume that he's not going to have those injuries once again, and they'll be able to perform. But he performed very well, especially coming from a long injury. Out of practice and out of that, he did perform well for Kenyan team.
Well, the 1,500 meter goal, well, that story continues as Kenyans continue to pack the medals, and this was at the 22nd edition of the African Senior Athletics Championships that were taking place in Mauritius, and Team Kenya is expected to arrive back today at 11:20 a.m. Keeping tabs on that is Bernard Okumu. Now, Julius Yego. Everyone talks about the king of the javelin. He's had his low moments. He hasn't done 80 meters in 2 or 3 years. But yesterday, he won a 4th African title, including defeating Egyptian Ihab Abdel Rahman, who won the Kipkeino Classic at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, last month. Ihab Abdel Rahman went to the event as the favorite, but Yego prevailed. Seeing Yego back, 75, 76 has been the norm for him, but here he is getting closer back to the 80s.
Yeah, we can say that it's a fall, rise, because prior to this event, if you'd ask, many people tell you, Yego is finished, Yego is gone. You know, he's been doing well, but of late, but I think yesterday he showed us he has the stamina again. He can be able to give us the best, you know, and defeating the champion, we can say the champion from Egypt, that was the best fit. But again, we're still asking the questions. consistency, that's the issue, because he need to continue now. We weren't talking of 8 meters, we're talking of 8 going forward. He has to continue going, having 8 and above. Not today, you remember when we went for world champions, he did not even afford to go 7-8.
Yes, he didn't do 78, and the Olympics was the same.
And even Olympics. So we're talking of a man who we can say he blows cold and hot at the same time. But if he can be able to consistently continue from where he left yesterday, then we'll have another gold coming back to Kenya.
Well, the Commonwealth Games are coming, and there is somebody known as Peters who's got the best throw in the world this year, 93 meters 7. And that's a kind of competition that Julius Yego is going to face from the athlete from Grenada. People who are doing 87, 88, 89 meters up to or over 90 meters as something that is consistent. And looking at how much for the, Kenyans are, we picked up something that is equivalent, that can only be compared to what we would say, the British press and their football, how they can batter you so hard because you're performing badly. How much more support can we give him so that we see the Yego of 2015 was doing 87 to 90 meters as a habit?
One thing that I know Kenyans are good at is looking at a result and then being able to compare that result for now and what you used to achieve before, then being able to play it like it's normal. We need to have Kenyans who will come back and say, this is ours. Yego was having, we're talking of 87, but now he's less than even 80. We're talking of 78, something like that. We need to come out and say, Yego, you can do it, even on social media. But sometimes some people will say, okay, he's won the African. I saw some of the comments, he's won the African, but will he be able to compete with the best from, we're talking of South America, we're talking of, No, it's about being comfortable and happy with what we have, so that we can be able to push him, push him harder. That you belong to us, you can do better. You are at 8, we're talking about 87. We can be able to go even up to 90. It's possible. Then we push him. The way you said about the Britons, also South Africa, they'll tell you are the best, you are going to do it, and then someone will continue improving. But in Kenya, people will be like, okay, he was there, he won that time, and then he's finished. No, you don't get finished, in things like this. Javelin is a new, you can say, a new competition that Yego gave to us. We never had it. And we need to continue pushing him, telling him, you can achieve, and have perhaps young ones coming in and then be able to push and push, perhaps be able to get, you can't know. Perhaps in the next Olympics, we're talking of 90, then something happens, someone gets injured, then he goes for 89 or 87, then he becomes world champion again.
Well, talking about injuries, Yego had a throw that won him a silver medal in 2016. He got injured after that throw, had to pick his medal on a wheelchair. We wish him well as he moves on with that. Then Jarinta Mawia, the women's 800 meters, and the story is, where exactly is Kenya? We've seen Mary Mora from 400 moved to the 800, and she's able to run 1 minute 58. But for Jarinta Mawia winning these 800 meters, revival for Kenya finally?
Revival for Kenya, we've been talking about this. You remember our home, we've been talking about in the forum that we need to have who is going to replay, who is going to move to have 800. And let's assume that we are going to have her. We are just, we are excited that finally we are going to have a female 800, and then we start raining again. Because when you look around, we're talking of Americans are there, we're talking of Jamaicans are there, we're talking of from New Zealand are there. New Zealanders are there also trying to compete with us. And before Russia were banned, you remember they were very good in that.
Yes.
So we're talking of having 800 female now coming to compete. And we're happy. We're saying that perhaps Jacinta Mawia will be able to do it for us. And keep it at that level.
Well, that 800-meter gold turned out to be one of the silver lining for Team Kenya. And then, yesterday morning, race walking. And Kenya has dominated the race walking scene, especially in the women's side. For a very long time, we had Grace Njoe, I think 7-time African champion, and anytime she went to the Commonwealth Games, she was always there. And here, yesterday, somebody who's taken up from her, Emily Ngei, winning the 20-kilometer race walk. And remember, there was also a bronze medal coming in from Sylvia Kemboi with race walking in Kenya.
Race walking in Kenya, I think that's...
Because I think the next is the Commonwealth Games. Can we see this continuity?
I think we'll see it continuing, especially for the females, but we still have a problem the other side.
The other side, Gazimba won as usual.
He won as usual, but we're talking of one guy or two guys. But for the women, I think we are doing well, and let's assume that we'll continue the good work going to Commonwealth. But in Africa, I think we've dominated. We've dominated, and they know, walking race, the ladies from Kenya are very strong. Even if they do what they know, they'll win. But we want now to put the other level. When you go to Commonwealth, you go to Olympics, we need to continue with strong team. As I was mentioning that the male, we still have a problem. But I think with the practice, all that, we can have a contingent of like 5, 7 who are very competitive, instead of just having 1 or 2 that we are very sure we can bet on it, that was going to give us gold or silver.
Well, Samuel Gadhimba won a gold. The other athlete is young Harrison Wanyonyi. He did not finish the race. Remember that Samuel Gadhimba won a bronze at the World Race Walking Championships in Muscat. Those took place about 3 months ago. For Gadhimba now, he's the dominant force. Wanyonyi, how much work needs to be done so that the under-20 champion can now progress? Because he's now competing with the seniors, he can progress.
Yeah, I remember Wanyonyi in under-18, under-20. Under-20, actually, he won. Then we were like, now the next person. And even if he didn't finish, I think he needs a lot of training and a lot of endurance and also a lot of practice. And I think he can learn more from Gadhimba. And let's hope they train together, because Gadhimba is a guy who actually has specialized in that field. He can be able to give you a good run of your money, especially in that field. So I expect Wanyonyi, with the time, he'll be able to catch up. And we're seeing a bright, a future for that young man, despite the fact that he did not finish. And again, as we said, these conditions were not the best for them. Running in that kind of conditions, say the truth, if it were perhaps the European they live in, some of them will say we are not going to run in that kind of environment. But this is Africa.
No, we are tough.
We're tough.
But you see, it's we know some events had to be stopped because of some storms. And yes, and the conditions, there was a storm in the Indian Ocean about 2 weeks, about 10 days ago, a very heavy storm that did cause a lot of havoc in the Indian Ocean. Maritime work, there are a lot of maritime processes have been delayed, and also winds hitting parts of the African continent. Mauritius being in the heart of the Indian Ocean, you'd expect that even as the storm receded, it would have been bad, and that is what we did see. So those are the gold medals that were won. Just a run back of them. Winnie Chebet in the women's 1,500 meters. Farida Nomanyala in the 100 meters. Beatrice Chebet, 5,000 meters women. The men's 4x100 meter relay team. Caroline Nyaga, the women's 10,000 meters. Abel Kipsang, the men's 1,500 meters. And we also had gold coming in from Jarinta Mawia in the 800 meters. Julius Yego in the javelin throw. Emily Ngei in the 20-kilometer walk race, and Samuel Gadhimba in the 20-kilometer walk race. Now, the men's 800 meters, Kenya has the Olympic champion, reigning Olympic champion, but everyone's saying, look, we need to get our game right so that we just don't rely on Ferguson, Emmanuel Korir. I know that right now we've got also Wanyonyi coming in, and everyone's talking about him. We've seen him win a Continental Tour gold event, win in Rabat. But a silver coming in from Nicholas Kiplagat. What would the outlook be for the championships that are coming in July? Because you're talking about the Worlds and the Commonwealth.
Wahome, perhaps I have to ask you this question. How many athletes are we supposed to have in 8,000?
800.
800.
In the 800.
Yeah.
Kenya should produce a full. The national championships normally were the mini world championships.
Okay, so then that means we are going to have, for sure, we are just going to have the medals 1, 2, 3. Because looking at that contingent of Ferguson, we're looking at now Nicholas Kiplagat is coming in. We still have Wanyonyi there. I think we are just going to have a sweep. I mean,
and Kibet.
And Kibet. Those are 4 guys, so they'll decide who will be number 1, 2, 3. You know, we go back to where we used to be in 2006, 2004, because this is a very good contingent of athletes for 800 meters. We're talking of Ferguson, talking of now. Nicholas is coming in. I did not rate him big compared to Wanyonyi, but I think he gave us a surprise. So I think in the national trials, AK will have some work cut out.
Well, and it is true. It's going to be very tough. Remember, the 24th and the 25th at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, 2 days of selecting the teams are by invitation only. You must have met the anti-doping criteria, and also you must have gone through education, and your records must be good with the Athletics Integrity Unit. Maximila Imali, she missed out on the national record in the 200 meters again when she was running in the final, but taking a silver in the 200 behind Aminatu Seni of Niger. First, who's going to stop Seni in Africa this year?
You are talking of Aminatu. That was big, huh? You know, that was big because for sure I just saw the results. I did not see the rest, but I think that was a race that if I were there actually watching it, it would be difficult for me to decide or to know who will win. But we can say that finally Kenya is coming of age. Yeah, that's what I can say. That Imali is going to give them some work to do.
Well, and for Maximila Imali, we know that for Maximila Imali, she's a national champion in the 100 meters. As we let Patrick, you know, have some sip of some water so that he can do that. Maximila Imali, champion over 200 national champion of over 100 meters and also over 200 meters, taking a silver medal behind Aminatu Seni, and and eventually she did that. The other silver medalist that we had there is Daniel Simiu, taking a silver in the 5,000 meters, and also the women's 4x400 meter relay. And so we'll be coming back to you, Patrick, shortly as we talk about that and the other medals that came in. Veronica Mutua in the women's 400 meters, taking a silver medal. Jeffrey Kirwa, a bronze in the 3,000 meter steeplechase. Olympic medalist Benjamin Keegan did not get a medal. Then we had Wais Manwere in the 400 meter hurdles. Then we had Abraham Longosiwa in the men's 10,000 meters. And the pictures that you are seeing there, that's the 4x100 meter relay team that was there. So I think Patrick has recovered, but at the moment, let us listen to the post-race interview of the men's 4x100 meter relay team.
So I'm here with the man of the moment, Ferdinand Mayala, African champion, something you've always wanted.
Yeah. It's one of the titles that I've always wanted and dreamt of, and it's a stepping stone towards the championships coming. So it was nice.
Let's talk about that race. I mean, everyone in the stadium, we were waiting for that time. 10 minutes. You guys were waiting for the time as well. 993, you and Akani Simbine. It was some race.
Yeah, that was a great race, I must say. And thanks to Akani, who pushed me, because if I could have been alone in the front, maybe I could ease up or just not pushed hard. But thank God, I am the one who came to the top.
I mean, see, it's good for African sprinting that, you know, we have athletes who are consistently running sub-10s, who are at the very top of their game. You know, it means we could actually challenge for medals at the World Championships, at global championships. You know, you are still going to meet Akani, and hopefully both of you will get to the finals of major championships.
Yeah, of course. I hope we take this African sprinting to the next level as we go for the World Championships and again the Commonwealth, because we are again meeting at the Commonwealth Games. So it's a good thing that Africa is now emerging and having more than one person representing the continent. And I'm looking forward to a very great championship coming ahead next month.
you've always wanted that championships record set by Nigeria's Seun Ogukoye. You said it was 2 years before you were born, but unluckily you did not get it today because from what I heard, I understand the time was wind aided.
Yeah, I've not seen the official results yet, but again, it was still a good time, and we hope that we'll break it at some day, 2 years later.
All the best, Ferdinand, and hopefully you and Akani get to the final and even maybe win a medal for the continent.
Thank you, yeah, I appreciate it.
With Team Kenya's Ferdinand Omayala. Oh, sorry, I don't know the names of your teammates. Please, can you do the honors?
Yeah. This is Samuel Imeta. Yeah, he's upcoming. He has a 10.2 in 100 meters. He'll go to the same.
He has a what?
10.27. Yeah, this is Mike Mokamba, the national champion for 200 meters also. Running 200 specialist.
Gold medal. You defeated Nigeria, South Africa. I mean, no one saw that coming. Well, there's a strong team because you're anchoring for them. But I didn't think personally that you guys were going to win gold. Maybe because I'm rooting for Nigeria. But you people stunned everyone. You are making a statement.
It's not about the countries who are coming to run. If you put that in mind, you will lose your game before you start it. So for us, just coming here, we wanted the gold medal. Really
No, not that strange because our sprint is coming up big, and we hope to do best. You see, Ferdinand Omanyala, the Africa fastest man, and the top 7 person in the world. So our sprint is coming, and we hope to do the best in the coming future.
Sorry, this interview they are playing the national anthem of Nigeria, my Nigeria, you guys. But thank you for stopping by.
We need to go for a medal now. We have the Kenyan national.
Thank you. Okay, we had the Kenyan national anthem.
Well, there you had it from Team Kenya. That's the quartet that won gold in a 4x100 meter relay. Speaking to making of champions, and so that was a quartet of Omanyala, Mokamba, Kiviazi, and Imeta. Well, the first Kenyan team to win the 4x100 meter relay gold in the at the African Championships. Well, let's continue with our conversation with Patrick Muleka here. And Patrick, well, good that you're okay. At times, speaking here really can do some things to your throat, but good that you're fine. Wanted to speak about Daniel Simiyu. We are finishing second, just by about 2 seconds, 13:36.79 by Amare Tegen of Ethiopia. And we had 13 minutes, 38.79 by Daniel Simiyu. Given the conditions, running 13:40 or faster is quite good out there. But what hopes are coming through from Daniel Simiyu? And also last week, we saw Nicholas Kimeli breaking the meeting record at the Rome Diamond League, a record that had been held by Eliud Kipchoge, running 12:46. What's the outlook for Kenya, knowing that there's been a slump in the 5K?
Yeah, there has been a very big slump in 5,000, and we've always said that after Eliud, then we were like, that's the end of it, because he switched and went to marathon, then that's the end of it. So we've been talking of Ethiopians coming in, also strong contingent from sometimes we get them from Britain, those who came from Africa, the Ethiopians who go on the other side.
In the Somali people. Yeah, we've seen more
Pharaohs of this world, moving to the other side. But now Daniel Simiyu coming in, and we have also now we are like seeing another Eliud Kipchoge coming in, because we need that title. We need to regain that title that has been lost to people from us, so that we can have 5,000, we have 1,500, 5,000, 3,000. All of them are coming back to Kenya. But again, as we said in the beginning, that the African Championship is good for us. is like the benchmark. Then from there we go outside there to see what will happen. So with even the person you talked about, the Rome winner,
Nicolas Kimeli.
Nicolas Kimeli. With Nicolas Kimeli, with Daniel Naus Miu coming in, I think we see that we're going to have a heir to Eliud Kipchoge going forward for 3,000.
Well, another event that I want to talk about is the men's 400-meter hurdles. Wiseman Were took a bronze medal in this event, but it is the story of the under-18 championships from the year 2017 that we need to look at. The winner was Sox Zazini of South Africa. He was a hurdler at the under-18s in 2017, and the third best hurdler in the world at the moment behind is Alisson dos Santos of Brazil. If you want to identify him, just look for the tall fellow who was overtaken by Mary Morad in the mixed relay. That's how we identify him. But what's the story of these under-18? I mean, from the under-18s from 5 years ago, that we're now seeing explosive performances.
I remember when we were when the issues of under-17, under-18, under-20 came in. I remember that day. I mean, that time very well. The AK telling us that it is a way of integrating these guys from the age of 17, 18 up 20, so that they can be able to perform at a level when that time comes. And I think it's paying off. And I think that's the way to go. That let's invest a lot in under 20, under 17, under 18. Just like what the Americans do. All the years they've been good in sprints, also Jamaicans, because they start at that age of 17. And that is the story that we are seeing right now. Those guys who are doing very good right now in 2020, they were there from 2017, 2018, 2019 coming up. So we expect that progression to continue. And that's why we have the championship. We're talking of under 17, even in this country. We need to have them all and all through training and through participation, so that they can be able to be the future athletes and the winners, or even world breakers.
Well, and just to look at the times, 49.42 for Sokwakana, Sox Zazini. We have Abdel Malik Lahulu of Algeria, 50.10. And Wiseman Were, who finished in 50.48 seconds. And you just looking at the pictures, look at the dominance of Zazini. How much more can we expect from him, knowing very well that there is the Kenyans will have to face him again at the Commonwealth Games and at the World Championships.
That's good work to be done. I think we need to do a lot more, because as we move on, it's like we're talking of a very strong person here. And we need to do a lot in terms of perhaps keeping pace from the beginning. And I think this should be tactical. Like I remember Chariot doing that. You need to be tactically well informed about the pairs, about the finishing, so that the time we're talking of perhaps 20 meters to go, then you are there and be able to kill it off. But we might have that person for a long time. Just look at the pace. Look at how, very strong, very strong.
Well, overall, for Team Kenya now, the focus now moves on to the Commonwealth Games and the World Championships, with the trials coming up. Invitation only on the 23rd, rather on the 24th and the 25th. Patrick, from what we have seen overall, first, let's talk about the steeplechase. What are the prospects for Kenya, knowing that Sufyan Bakali has dominated this, and looks like at the moment we don't have somebody who's running 8 minutes flat on the men's side?
On the men's side, Wahome will still have a problem. And I think this problem, we waited for a long time. And Bakali has dominated. We're talking of the world. Every time you see him there, unless Labda has an injury. But if there's no injury, this is a guy who's always been beating us, or beating, we're talking of Africans, also even the world. So I think we need to do a lot in terms of
ensuring that the steeplechase comes back. And also we had, we've seen Nora Jeruto. She is now running for Kazakhstan, and she She is running for Kazakhstan right now. She's dominating the steeplechase. Well, that has been I'll look at the African Athletics Championships. The team is arriving in the next 25 minutes, 11:20 a.m. at the JKI. And Bernard Okumu is our reporter there, and he's going to be keeping us updated on the events as Team Kenya arrives. We shall be taking a short break right now, and when we get back, we continue with another sport about speed. In 10 days' time, all the big petrol heads of the world will be in this country and blowing the dust. We're talking the WRC Safari Rally. We'll be joined by the clerk of the course, Gurveer Babra.